Yeehaw! We got the Gong Strong Superheavy Samurai deck profile, guys. Welcome to the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. This is the Mermail Master coming at you again with a new video. In honor of the brand new support for Superheavy Samurais in the brand new set, Cybernetic Horizon, I wanted to do an old school, old style character deck for Superheavy Samurais, what I believe, along with Amazonas, to be one of the most fun archetypes in the game. Now, Superheavy Samurai is a deck. It's the only one in the game, pretty much, that is 100% monsters, and it can't be any other way. So without further ado, guys, we're going to get into this and show you guys the big, powerful moves of Superheavy Samurai. Starting things out right now, guys, we got one of the main Superheavy Samurais in the deck. 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai, Big Waraji. Now, this guy is awesome. Now, a little thing about the Superheavy Samurais is they can only activate their effects if they got no spell traps in the graveyard, which means this is all monsters. This guy allows himself to special summon himself to the field, and he's pretty much a cyber dragon, but he can special summon himself at any time. And then he can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a machine-type monster. And the perfect machine-type monster is Gong Strong's main guy right here. There's 3 copies. Superheavy Samurai, Big Ben K. Coolest thing about this archetype, guys, is the fact that Superheavy Samurais can attack while they're all in defense mode. Now, I know the new builds that you see out there are mostly running like the Baron de Fleur and Exterio and a whole bunch of other stuff to set up those massive first-turn boards. But the real gimmick of Superheavy Samurai is being able to attack while defense mode. Big Ben K, guess what he does? He makes every single one of your Superheavy Samurais, including himself, able to attack while they're in defense mode. And because he's got 1,000 attack power, he can be special summoned out by any number of cards, including the old favorite Giant Rat. Next card we've got in here is 3 copies of Superheavy Samurai Soul Piercer. This is your searcher of the deck. Probably the best card in the deck outside of any number of other cards that you could run. But this card, guys, is like fantastic. Anytime it goes to the graveyard, you just get to search. And then it also gives a monster you control piercing when you equip it to the hand. So because it's one of those awesome, awesome cards, you just have to run it in the deck. Another card we got right here is Scales. He's a special summon, and then you grab another Superheavy Samurai who's level 4 or lower from your hand to grave. This just basically makes your board quite big, and running them at 3 in this deck is absolutely the way to go about it, guys. You know, it is just like, this is a Gong Strong classic right here. And you load up a whole bunch of Superheavy Samurais in defense mode. When you got your Big Ben K out, you're inflicting a lot of damage. And guess what? Their mirror forces can't even stop you. Now, one of these brand new guys, well, you know, kind of new, is the classic Superheavy Samurai Soul Peacemaker. Now, this card is really cool because what you can do with it is you just equip it to any Superheavy Samurai you control, and then you tribute them both. And then they go to the grave, and you special one from deck. So a perfect way to get out your Big Ben K. You know, very, very strong. Another Superheavy Samurai that I want to put a big shout out here for is this guy right here. This is Battle Ball. Now, Battle Ball, what makes him so good is the fact that, you know, you can pretty much use any monster your opponent controls as synchro material. Well, it's not an effect. It's just you're using them as synchro material. So, you know, your opponent's got like Thunder Dragon Colossus on the field. You normal summon this guy. Way back in the day, you know, Battle Ball sinks away with Thunder Dragon Colossus, and, you know, pretty much get the big monster on the field and summon your nice fat 3,200 defense guy right here. You know, this is your 3,800 defense, your Superheavy Samurai Warlord Susanoo, or Susanoo, you know, however you want to say it. Very, very good card, way, way back in the day. You know, I used to run it during TOS format and whatnot. Another card we got in here is 3 copies of the Soulbane Cannon. Now, why is Soulbane Cannon so good? You know, you can equip him from your hand to a Superheavy Samurai. That monster gains 1,000 attack, and then when he's in your grave, your opponent activates an effect while you control a Superheavy Samurai. You negate that effect, and then you destroy pretty much everything on the board, and then both players take 1,000 damage, which is really, really cool, especially in time and all, you know, sorts of other stuff that happens. Next card we got in here is the Magneteer himself. This is Jishakyu. And what he does is, when he's summoned, you basically, he's kind of like Goblinberg. You special summon another Super Heavy Samurai to the field and both switch to defense. And if you got two Jishikyus out, you switch them both to defense and they create the Marauding Captain lock, so your opponent can't inflict battle damage to either of them. Of course, this would not be a Gong Strong Super Heavy Samurai style deck if we did not have Giant Rat. Now, Giant Rat is super good because it allows you to grab Big Ben K, who only has 1,000 attack. When Big Ben K hits board, he automatically switches to defense, which is 3,500. Oh, it's a big, big move, guys. So you got a tough monster your opponent controls. You just can't get over that thing. It's, can't be targeted. It's unaffected by card effects. Guess what? You get Big Ben K, and Big Ben K will make your field right as rain. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, because Gong Strong was a pendulum master, we've got his pendulums here. You thought I was going to go for the other ones, but these are his OG too. We've got Super Heavy Samurai Generals Coral and Jade. Now, these guys have great pendulum effects and just basically allow you to special summon these guys in their defense positions, and just allows them to kind of attack. And then General Coral has a really, really great draw effect as well. The other big monster that I wanted to point out here, and a specialty Super Heavy Samurai monster, is this card right over here. And it is one of the OGs, and this is Super Heavy Samurai Soulfire Suit. Equip it to a monster to make it level 5, or discard it, and in exchange for the reducing of your Super Heavy Samurai monster by 800 attack, it gets to survive by battle or card effects, and that until the end of the turn. Now, next up is one of my personal favorites. We've got the Super Heavy Samurai Thief. This guy can special summon himself straight to the board. He's a nice level 10 monster. So you got multiple of these guys. You can go for a Gustav Max if you decide to run one, especially because this is a character deck. We're not really doing that right now. But then you get to tribute him and pop a spell or trap, and it's kind of like totally awesome because you get to set that card to your field, which is pretty amazing, and it's great that the deck allows you to work with your opponent's cards as opposed to your own as well. The next card we've got in this deck is 3 copies of the Super Heavy Samurai Giga Gloves. Now, this is an oldie but a goodie. It allows you to stack the top of your deck, and just, you can take a look at all 5 of those cards on the top of the deck and, put them in any order that you want. And then when your opponent declares an attack, you can banish this card from the grave. You can excavate the top card of your deck, and you pretty much know what it is. And if it's a Super Heavy Samurai monster, which it'll absolutely be, add it to your hand, and if you do, the attacking monster's attack becomes 0. And then, otherwise you send the card to the grave. But the thing is, that 0 is permanent. So it just is really good. It's a non-targeting effect. You just reduce your opponent's attack power. Now, one of the classic cards in this deck, we got 3 copies of the Super Heavy Samurai Soulbuster Gauntlet. This basically doubles the attack power, kind of like Honest, of any of your Super Heavy Samurais. You drop this while Big Ben K's attacking or somebody's attacking it. Woo, boy. Don't want to be in a room when that damage hits. This is an awesome card. And it also has an equip effect where it just gives plus 400 boost, but we don't really talk about that too much. Speaking of cards that can protect you, we got Super Heavy Samurai Prepped Defense. When you take battle damage, you special summon this guy to the board, and he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Spirit of Neos like I run it back in the day? This is the same thing. Next card we've got in this deck is 1 copy of Super Heavy Samurai Wagon. Some people like to run more. I prefer the 1 copy here because basically what this card does is, first of all, it can attack while it's in face-up defense position. Well, not every Super Heavy Samurai can do that. You can also change this card to attack position and then add a Super Heavy Samurai Soul from your deck to your hand, which is a pretty awesome move, all things considered. Now here's another card we've got, is 1 copy of the Super Heavy Samurai Blowtorch. Discarding this card from your hand to the grave while you got, all of that there, you target a Super Heavy Samurai monster and change the attack target to that monster. So your opponent's trying to kill one of your other monsters, you just change the attack target to Big Ben K and conduct that damage calculation. So very cool card. Next card we've got in here is 1 copy of the Super Heavy Samurai Blue Brawler. Basically what he does is he just basically switches himself to defense mode, and is kind of a really nice monster to just not be destroyed by battle on the field. And it's really, really good. Next card we got is Superheavy Samurai Drum. When it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, just special summon a Superheavy Samurai to the grave, from the grave. Next, we've got one copy of the Superheavy Samurai Soul Shield Wall. Increases the defense power of a monster you control by 1200 and also protects it for battle. Really, really nice card as well. Next, we've got one copy of Superheavy Samurai Soul Claw. Now, you see in a lot of the souls come up here. Gives 500 attack and defense boost and makes the monster it gets equipped to indestructible by battle. And then, you know, just basically is a really nice card. Speaking of Super Heavy Samurais that are great, another tribute option is the Super Heavy Samurai Flutist. Basically, you can banish this, a special summon a Super Heavy Samurai like Big Ben K from your hand, and then you can banish this card from the grave to make it indestructible, which is really, really cool. Now, here's a classic card, which not a lot of you guys may know. This is the Marmiting Captain. When he's normal summon, you can shuffle one card from your hand in the deck and then draw a card. And then if that card is a monster, you can special summon that monster to the board. And guess what, guys? It will be a Super Heavy Samurai. It will be a monster. So Marmiting Captain is pretty good in this deck. Next card we've gotten here is one copy of Dogoran, the Mad Flame Kaiju. Really great for tributing over your opponent's stuff to give them a nice level 8 monster you can use together with your Battle Ball for Susanoo. We've got one copy of Super Heavy Samurai Soul Beads, you know, another equipped card that protects from battle destruction. And also when a defense position monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you ditch this from your hand to special summon that monster. And the final main deck monster we got in here is this guy right here, the Super Heavy Samurai Swordsman. Making damage calculation all become 0. So that's going to do it for the Gong Strong main deck. And now we're moving on to the strongest of extra decks, guys. Are you ready for this? That's a big main deck. I think it's like something, you know, 50 or more cards in here. First card we've got is the man himself. This is Super Heavy Samurai Warlord Susanoo. And then he can attack while he's in face-up defense position, and during either player's turn, if your opponent's got, you know, a spell or trap card in their graveyard, you can set it to your side of the field and then banish that card. So it's a really, really cool card. It's just like, not only that, but you can steal shit your opponent's planning to use. Next card we got in here, 2 copies of the almighty Super Heavy Samurai Beast QB, which basically allows it to gain 900 defense for each special summon monster your opponent controls. You know what they say, guys, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And he's a level 9. You know, and these are all like different levels that you do for Battle Ball and whatnot. Next card we've gotten here is one Super Heavy Samurai Ogre Sarutobi. And basically what this guy does is when you got no spell and trap cards, it's basically a Harpy Feather Duster for all spell and traps your opponent controls. A really good card, and then you can keep ranking up from there. Next card we've got in the deck is 2 copies of Ninja Sarutobi. So this is Sarutobi, my bad, guys, and that's Ogre Shootin' Doji. So Sarutobi basically also can attack in defense position, and you can target a spell or trap on the field, and if you do, destroy it and inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent. Very, very cool card and a great option to go for Battle Ball. We got now 3 copies of this guy right over here. This is your Super Heavy Samurai Swordsmaster Musashi. And when he's synchro summoned, you add a machine type monster from your grave to your hand. And if you do, you know, you can normal or special summon it or a monster with its name. And then this card can attack while it's in face-up defense position as well, but chances are you're just going to use that special summon capability to move into higher level monsters. And the final monster we've got here is the Super Heavy Samurai Steam Train King, a level 12 monster with 4,800 attack power, guys. Basically allows you to discard up to 2 cards, target that many cards your opponent controls, and destroys them. Once per turn, you can banish All spells are trapped from the grave and inflict 200 damage for each card banished. A really, really cool card. So that is going to do it for our Gong Strong Super Heavy Samurai deck profile, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe to the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. And this has been the Mermail Master, signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.